Alrighty, hello. This is our last Bigwig setup guide for the raid. We're just going to talk about the last two bosses. So we're going to jump into going over Mugsy. So after doing this boss, I think the main things is just marking each of the mechanics for each of the different sides of the room. So we'll do like a red bar and a yellow bar for each side. So we have the, I guess like the earth side of the room first, or you could call it the red side of the room. It doesn't really matter. It's the one where he spawns adds and he does the frost abilities. So the first thing is the adds that he spawns right here, the Earthshaker Gowl. We can just put that as probably our yellow or red bar. I think that's like the main ability, so we're going to put that as red. I copied this red color here and just use that. And the second ability that we care about in that phase is the Frost Boots. There is other stuff going on that side, but this is like the primary ability. Set that as our yellow bar. And then next up is the red side where the bomb and the adds spawn. So we have the mines that spawn. So this will be our yellow bar, is going to be the mines. Then our red bar will be the rocket that he shoots that we need to soak. And now our countdown we'll probably do a countdown for both sides, I think is a good idea. So the countdown for the Gowl side would probably be the finger gun, I think. We can do like the random frontal that happens on a random player. That can be our countdown. And then the same thing happens on the other side with Spray and Pray. They're both basically the exact same ability. One player gets targeted, everybody else wants to move out of the way while the other player either stands still or moves the opposite direction. And then I think other than that, that's pretty much it, because the other ones are just these charges and stuff that happen. So I guess what we could do is, because once the intermission starts right here, the Bullet Storm, these abilities don't happen anymore, so we can set a countdown to static charge, which is where he faces a random player and charges. But we have a general idea of like when we need to bait him, because you want to bait him in certain directions and stuff. Then we'll go ahead and look at Gallywix. So Gallywix, I don't know all the Mythic mechanics yet. I haven't looked at it on Mythic, but I have done it on Heroic, so we'll take a look at that. I think the big things for this one is going to be... We'll probably just break it down through each phase, I think, unless it's just not showing. Okay, yeah, it is, but it's only showing certain things. So, let's see. This is the canisters that he spawns, so this will probably be a countdown, but we'll keep looking. The tank bombs. Venting heat is AoE damage. We'll put the venting heat, I think, as our yellow bar, because this is just damage that happens throughout most of the fight that we're going to want to heal, but it's not like the main source of damage. And then the main source of damage is definitely going to be... So the canisters happen in a different phase, so this will be red. So basically anything where it's a major healing check, that's going to be our red bar. So that's going to be that, the heal absorb, and then there's also another heal absorb that happens in the first phase. Which is going to be... I It's not this, is it? Yeah, it is. Scatterburst canisters. Yeah. So this is in the first phase. This will be our red bar as well. Resoak. And stage 2. Have the fused canisters, which is pretty much the same thing. This is like the group soaks that you have to group up for. And usually what we were doing is one person would go on his left, middle, and then his right. I should actually have a VOD of this somewhere. We have the last phase, which will be the TikTok canisters, very similar thing. So it's basically just we're marking all of the soaks in each phase since there's a unique soak for each phase, but they all kind of do the same thing. We're going to set that as our red bar. And just to show an example real quick, I'm going to switch over to my WoW recorder if I can find it. Switch over to our desktop here in a second. And then I should have our Gallywix stuff in here, so I'm going to find that real quick. Hold on. Here it is. Multiple POVs, so we'll just go and look at this one for now. Trying to find our first little set of soaks in stage 2. So that's going to be these right here. These are the, what's the ability called again? For some reason, I'm not remembering the name of the ability, but this is the one that I was talking about where you go left, middle, and right. And he's going to do it again right here. You can see group soaks on Bigwigs. Now he's casting it again. It's literally just calls it details just our Bigwigs just calls it group soaks, and so does Splitter. So now we just group up with those. We put one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. And then we were just having our raid just kind of evenly split. We didn't like assign anybody to any of the soaks. Obviously on Mythic that will be different, but on Heroic we were just like, just pick one to stand in. We'll kind of split the raid up evenly just by kind of guesstimate. And then once you soak one, you just always soak that side. So if you soak the left the first one, you're going to soak the left every single time and just not worry about it. Then in P3, we have another soak. That is going to be right here coming up in 2 seconds, it says. It's going to be these where he throws the little purple canisters on the ground, and that's going to be our other red bar. And this was the same thing. It's just like looking at them in the triangle formation. If you always soak left, you just soak the left one. Middle is the middle. It's all the same, like little triangle formation to soak. And then that's pretty much it. So that's our bar setup and everything, and those are like the important abilities, is just understanding that the soaks are pretty much the same in every phase, so you can mark them the same in every phase as far as like colors or countdowns and stuff go. And that's pretty much it. Alrighty, I think that's all for the Bigwig setup guide for the raid. We will finish with the dungeon series here soon. I'm also going to finish the dungeon walkthroughs. We have 4 left to do, so if you see me streaming, I'm usually doing the dungeon walkthroughs and stuff live on Twitch whenever I'm streaming. I also stream here on YouTube, so check that out. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.